Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. This looks a tricky rack full of clunky consonants. It's going to be hard to leave a decent rack leave, but it's certainly too good to change. I don't want to carry through two G's, but I may have to carry through one. Now, I can play Grake, which leaves BG for 30 points. I think that's fine. Pretty ropey rack. Just the one vowel. I've got Vang through the A of Grake. But not much else on offer. That's not going to score very much, and the rack leave is poor. So I may be having to change here. However, there is the I for an ing ending word, so I've got boning, and that's certainly better than changing, even if PV is pretty awful. Goban also good, but not scoring very much. That's through the A of Grake. So not much on offer at the moment, but the board's likely to change as soon as my opponent plays. However, he may be removing the few floaters that are available without providing anything new. Okay, he's changed, so I know that boning is available. Placing the O next to this triple letter square, that's not great, but probably unavoidable. Poning possibly good, but I don't think BV is better than PV. Probably the reverse. I'm not sure if boning takes an S at the end. Well, I think I will go with this for 18 points. Another poor rack. However, my opponent is yet to score. Ouch. He has now. Ab takes an O. Joe takes a T. So, what's the best I can do down here? I know that I have Notum on my rack, but I can't see anywhere for that. And also Novum on my rack, which would sort the rack out quite nicely. Mab, not good. So what do I have down here ending OT? Well, I've clearly got pot, not, and mot. In which case I think mot is probably best, given the synergy of the remaining tiles. However, keeping UV is pretty poor, and I'm only getting 25 points. So, is there a better play? Unpot, not good. Let me put this back because I really don't think this is optimal. What about coming down the right-hand side? My U can go next to the H. What can go next to AB? Just my low-scoring consonants. And I can't get rid of the U. Now, what about playing down from JO? TOK, TUK. What about a KOU play down here? Can't see anything there. Now, I'm contemplating changing. However, that probably isn't better than playing Mott 25. Well, I draw the Q, which is good since I have the U, so I hopefully can get rid of the Q and split up UV. Good score for my opponent. I don't think I have a 5-letter play with my Q, which plays in row H. I've got quant. I can't see anything through the F. Now, I'm looking to see if I've got anything in column 6, which gets the Q tripled. Can't see anything. Jot takes an A at the end. Abo takes nothing I've got. Now, do I have anything in row J? So the Q words I've got on my rack are qua and quat. Neither plays parallel to Foxy or anywhere else. Well, qua and ma is good, but allowing my opponent to place an A in front of the Q is not good. I've got quota, which scores very little. Gosh, tricky rack and a pretty blocked board. I could play Vag and Rev and hopefully score more with the Q next go. The QU is positive equity, so I don't need to play them off. But I can't see anywhere that I can get rid of the P and the V. Well, I could play Van across here, which doesn't give too much away, scores 17 points, keeps QU, gets rid of the V, stops my opponent utilising the H1 spot. Great, I draw the blank and it's a pretty balanced rack and I've got a 2-point lead. I can't see a 7 with this rack, but Paro Quet is good through an R or an A. Pretty much no floaters available at the moment. Opacust also good through an A or an S. Right, has my opponent provided something? Just the N and the E. Ane doesn't take an S at the end. Well, I'm not seeing any bingos through the N or the E. So where can I play my Q? I'm just wondering whether to cycle through the blank for inspiration, or for bingos rather. It's just it's a judgment call as to how likely I am to find one, and I don't think I am. And I'm mindful of the time, just 12 minutes on my clock and still more than half the tiles to come. I was looking to see if I can get my Q doubled and then tripled, and I can't see a way of doing that. Can't see anything through FA or ON. So a pretty locked board. Now, I'm now looking to play the Q, and although QU does have positive equity, given that I've got the blank I want to bingo, so it's important that I jettison the Q and the U. So I could play Quoth. 18 points, and I'm leaving a pretty good rack leave, and I'm opening up a lane in row E because Q takes an I underneath it, and my opponent may be drawn up here and leave the floating N and E of A and A available. Well, I have prepare paper, a repaper. I don't have anything with the blank as an I. So I have paper, E, blank. Now I think, do I have reappear? No, I would need an A for that. So the most likely bingo would be through the N of A and E. And I haven't seen anything yet. I think I will cycle with N and E in N and E in mind. I've got the pre-prefix. So that would be prepared through an R. Okay, my opponent has changed the picture. Frap is good. So I've got something I can play. Now I've got prepare as a 7. Are there any 7-letter lanes available? Well, final takes an E. So I've got paperer. Phew. Okay, I nearly didn't see that E hook. I was contemplating just an S. So I have paperer for 85. And I would also have prepare and FE. Possibly less dangerous because my opponent can put a high-scoring tile on this double letter square and also next to the A. So let me take that back and play a prepare across here, which gives less away. The A is still available for a high-scoring tile underneath it, but the X is the only really dangerous one, and that's already been played. So prepare 75. Pretty poor. However, fairly easy to resolve in the sense that Dodo is good. Toodle would be good onto an E. Annoyingly, the floater in column 8 is an O, which doesn't help. However, ON takes an O, so I could play do across here, keeping Dolt. 25 points. And I may have something from L1 across DOO. I think DOOL is good, but LE isn't. Or maybe a word ending OOD. Can't see one. Okay, so maybe I don't have anything there. 25 points for my opponent. He burns an S. He's probably got an S or a blank on his rack. So this is what I saw. DOO for 25. I don't want to play in column 14 because it opens column 15. Do gives nothing away and the rack leave is okay given what I started with. Still no I for going underneath the Q, and yet there are 5 unseen. Pretty awful rack. No scoring tiles and only 1 vowel. However, I have Dolor in column 8, which will sort the rack out. It'll split up the duplicate L and play off 4 tiles and leave a decent rack leave and score just about okay. 21 points. The downside being that it provides 2 useful floaters and I'm ahead. However, column 14 is available as a bingo lane, although G, not the best of tiles for overhooking. And Dolor would interrupt plays in bingos in row E, or even non-bingos making Chi. Now, what's my opponent done here? I'm wondering if I can play off one of my L's in this area, and I don't think I can, so I'm inclined to play Dola. Just pausing in case there was a similar play which kept the R on my rack. Now Dola's pretty dangerous because it opens up a lane for a 7-letter bingo ending in S. So can I do better than that? 8 minutes on my clock, 30 tiles left, so I can't dwell on this for very long. I don't have anything down here. I can't play in rows E or C. Well, nobody can play in row C. I'm going to go with Dola. I can't see anything better. Drool is also available in the same spot, but I think the O is less useful to my opponent than the R as a floater. Great, I draw the second blank. I have no vowels at all now, even though there are loads of them out there. Hopefully my opponent is swamped. Nice play by my opponent, 51 points. Now, what I can do, well, despite this rack looking quite changey, I was going to say I can play Mott across here, but my opponent's play has actually put him slightly into the lead. So, should I be changing? And the reason for changing is that there are 3 good bingo lanes at the moment through the D and O of Dola and in column 14. So I think I will change because playing Mott disrupts 2 of those lanes. Yeah, there's also row F, which is good and would remain available. However, I would like as many lanes as possible to be open, and Mott only scores 8 points, which I think is the deciding point. So let me change some tiles. Should I keep the M? I think I will. Let me see how many vowels there are to come. 15 vowels out of 28. There's a lot of vowels, and if I don't have a bingo, the M will enable me to score. Okay. Well, I do have the M and the Y for score, but it's not a great rack, just 2 I's in the vowel department. However, there could be something here. Intimacy through the right floaters. I don't have anything with the blank as an S. 6 minutes on my clock, 14 on my opponent's clock. Now, what about through the O? I feel there is something here. And my I can go next to the G, so it may be that I've got a 7 in column 13. I'm going to cycle. Let me just pause to see what my opponent's done. He's scored quite well. He's got a 40-point lead. I can't play down column 14. He's interrupted column 14 as a bingo lane. So I'm considering the D and the O. So that's intimacy through an A. That's an ING ending. Can't see anything down to 5 minutes on my clock. 17 tiles to come. There may not be something here. But there could be. That's ministry through an R. I've got the ism ending. Okay, I can't see anything. Now what I'd like to do is score. And I'm looking in column 14, so I could play tie-in, which has some merit. Except it doesn't get my M or my Y tripled, which is what I'd like to do. Can't see anything down here. I'd like to play off an I as well. Can't see anything through the D. Dimity if it was in a different place. Gosh, tricky, tricky, tricky. I don't really want to play something like Nim because I'm keeping the Y and it's just too easy for my opponent to score. I do want to play off a Y. Now, what about using QI? So I have to play off the Y because that's the non-bingo-y tile. I'm wondering about playing across through the A. Gosh, tricky. What about playing through the O? Yo Mim through an M. Only 3 minutes on my clock and 17 tiles to come. I'm in trouble. Okay. Miney and Mem, 18. I draw the second Y and a U. I'm very short on time and my opponent is likely to play fast. If he does, because I'm short on time, rejustify through an R, I may have to stop looking for a bingo, sedulity through a D, and play off YU. There could well be a bingo here, but just 2 minutes on my clock. Okay, so let me play YU anywhere, and then I'll have a fabulous rack. So it can play here, U and up. So what do I have? I have stylettes and dollars. Do I have anything ending ED? I'm 40 points behind. A bingo may not be enough. 7 tiles in the bag. So what would something look like ending with D? And do I have anything ending with Y? I've got the LY. I've got systole. Systole, that's going down. Systole for 80 points. Okay, and I draw the final 5 tiles, and I've got a 14-point lead. I can see what my opponent's got. He's got a lot of rubbish, but he's got the B, and he may get to have 2 turns. I've got TI and QI. Do I have anything down from the YE? YE is good. So I have ETIC and YE. Ah, my opponent's just gone there. 2 minutes on my clock. He's left himself with 2 U's. I don't think he can go out in one go unless there's a floating T or L. However, he's given himself a 15-point lead, so it's me who has 2 goes. 2 minutes on my clock. So I've got TI for 15. That's not very much, and I can't necessarily go out. Well, I've got sect. Is there a second out? Sect doesn't score very much, so this may not be enough. 1 minute on my clock. Is there an out in 1 anywhere? I've got the D, I've got the O, Q, U. Stick T. Stickty. Here, for 9, is that going to be enough? No, it's not. It is an out, but it doesn't score enough. That is so close. That loses by 2. But is there a winning play? What about using... There's less than 1 minute left. What about using FERE? So I've got ET. Let me try that, since I know Stickty loses. ET for 27. Now, where does CIT play? CIT, SI, and IT. And my opponent cannot block that because he's got 2 U's. So he's played AUD for 6. I'm now ahead. And Sit wins. I've got 30 seconds left. Sit scores 13 points. I'm going to go with this. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does. Wow, fantastic game. Final score, 358 to my opponent, 379 to me, a winning margin of 21 points. So, very close, and I thought I was going to lose that when Stickty didn't score enough. But anyway, low-scoring game, but pretty exciting. Let's see what I missed. Great, fantastic. I got away with that. I must have been confusing it with something which is good. Now, let's see what I could have played. Yeah, big probably the play. So I played Great. That's not good. My opponent changes. I have a horrible rack. I thought about Vang, went for Boning. Neither is great, but nothing obviously better. My opponent plays Hadge. Horrible rack again. And in the end, I went with Mott, but I didn't like it. And my opponent has Foxy. I've got the Q. Decided to keep it. Wow, punt, J6. Using the XU. Yep, great score, but it is splitting up QU. Quop was available. Tripling the P. Yep, that might have been worth doing. What did I do? I played Van for 17. Well, I think some of these other plays were certainly better. My opponent plays Ane. Great, I didn't miss a bingo here. K9. Wow, look at that. Quop playable parallel to Ane for 36 points. And Quep in the same spot, which would have been even better because it doesn't take an S. What did I do? I played Quoth for 18. Okay. Well, it's still got a nice rack leave and I'm opening up bingo lanes. Now my opponent plays Final, and I considered Paperer in column 13. But I noted that a high-scoring tile could go next to the R, but Papered would have gone in the same spot and not allowed that. However, it would have still left the vowel next to this triple letter square. And other options available. I went with Prepare. Nice rack for my opponent. He doesn't have a bingo. He plays Gauze. Now, K5. Oh, well, this is where I played Do, and I still like that. My opponent plays Her. And I played Dola for 18. Look at the rack leaves above. Lend probably better, but a lower score. Nice score by my opponent, which moves him into the lead, and I've got an awful rack. Playing on just the M for 27, but keeping 3 Ts doesn't feel optimal. So I change. My opponent plays Days, and now I really struggled here. 08, My and Firm for 48, that would have been the play. Even with the risk of drawing another eye. Yeah, 48 points. What did I do? I played Miney for 18 It's a better rack leave than my, but not enough to justify dropping 30 points. My opponent plays Witan. Eukiest was available at F15. Oh wow, making NY and U, so I didn't spot that. Well done if you did. Instead, I played U to give myself a fabulous rack leave. Horrible rack for my opponent with 2 U's and a V. He plays Dev, and now I have Sisterly for 80, and other bingos were available. Now, at this point, I'm 14 points ahead. I can go out in one with Stick T, but I suspect there might be a winning line for my opponent. Dweebovision for 34, E15. Keeping IU, well, that depends on whether you can go out with IU. I guess there's Sui and Sui, so possibly Dweebovision was a winning play. However, my opponent played Abide. Stick T not appearing on this list. Maybe it's not good, but I think it is. Anyway, I played Et for 27. My opponent does have an out. K12, Ulu, and us. Okay, well, we both overlooked that, I think. Would that have won for my opponent? He would have got 10 on count back. Yes, it would. So I got out of jail there. He played Ood. And I have Sit for 13 at D2, which is what I played. So pretty exciting game. Errors on both sides, but is pretty much always the case, and it makes the game exciting. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.